Sougwen Chung is a Chinese-Canadian artist and researcher known for her work at the intersection of art, technology, and human-machine collaboration. Her practice explores the dynamic and intersections between human creativity and machine-generated art, often blurring the lines between works made by hand and those generated by algorithms or machines. She believed that the predictive nature of AI is a tool informed by the users, and while it can suggest the relinquishing of human agency and an erasure of human labor, so she believes that it is not what is exciting or valuable about the artistic practice. She believes that the relationship between human and their tools, specifically digital tools, have evolved to become editable, fluid, distinctively valuable, or all of the above. With AI being data driven and predictive, users' actions inform the tools they use alongside influences from designers, technology trends, and processing power. This interplay results in a responsive quality seen in features like autosuggest and autocorrect. She notes that this feedback loop complicates the creative process and authorship, impacting not only artistic pursuits but also our daily interactions with technology. Additionally, it opens up the conversation about a collective authorship between the artist, dataset, the machine, and the dynamic and design of the algorithmic process. This is where Chung's work explores the complicated and compelling question of authorship as a working artist today. Her work encompasses various mediums, including installations, sculpture, still images, drawings, and performance. To begin, the technological advancements that emerged during the 20th century laid the groundwork for Chung's work. The birth of the Internet led to new forms of communication, connectivity, and artistic expression. This digital network provides a platform for Chung to share and distribute her art and collaborate with other artists and researchers. Personal computers opened up new possibilities for artists to explore digital art making, and this technology laid the foundation for Chung's use of digital tools and AI systems in her projects such as the Doug drawing robot and the Genesis installation. Most importantly, the rise of robotics and cybernetics allowed artists like Chung to explore human-machine collaboration. The work of early pioneers like Edward Inasovic, who created cybernetic sculptures in the 1960s and 1970s, set up the stage for Chung's interactive installation and performances such as Assembly Line and Omni-Operational Perceptual Bridge. As previously mentioned, the rise in AI and robotics in various industries contributes to the exploration of the relationship between humans and machines. Her project, Doug, is a robotic arm that collaborates with the artist in real time using AI to learn and respond to Chung's drawing gestures. She has made multiple of these units with a sixth on the way, with each installation being improved and upgraded to respond to Chung's drawing gestures and biometrics. Additionally, these machines are trained on Chung's older works. Another example is the assembly lines, where the installation explores collaborative dynamics between human AI systems and robotics through biosensors. The piece features multiple robots working together with Chung to create an artwork in real time. Moreover, Chung's work exemplifies the integration of contemporary practices that prioritize human experience and multidisciplinary approaches. Her art seamlessly blends elements from various disciplines, reflecting the evolving nature of creative expression in today's world. This can be seen in her practice, where she combines elements of installation, sculpture, still image, drawing, and performance. As stated previously, Assembly Line is an installation that combines still image, drawing, and performance to showcase collaborative dynamics between humans, AI systems, and robotics. Furthermore, Omni-Operational Perceptual Bridge is a performance piece featuring Chung, a robotic arm, and an AI system working together. This performance showcased the potential for co-creation between humans and machines, exploring the role of the artist within this collaborative process. Through this work, Chung emphasizes the emotional and sensory experience of both the artist and the audience, demonstrating her commitment to highlighting the human element within technologically driven art. Lastly, the increasing acceptance and use of technology in the art world has allowed for Chung to experiment with innovative techniques and materials. This fosters a greater appreciation for artworks that combine traditional practices with cutting edge technology. Additionally, the development of virtual reality technology in the late 20th century created new possibilities for artists to explore immersive and interactive spaces. This can be seen in her work Genesis, which used VR to sculpt with the artist's body being recorded and rigged to a 3D avatar to show the process unfolding as a performance, with this dataset being used as a foundation for an upcoming AI system. This project highlights the evolving connection between technology and human cognitive processes in the context of machine readability, VR, and AI.
Sougwen Chung work explores the intersections of human and machine collaboration, particularly through robotics and artificial intelligence in art making. Central to her practice is the concept of co-creation, where she uses robotic arms to extend her gestures, blurring the lines between artist and tool. The idea of human machine interaction has a deep root in the 20th century new media arts, notably in the works of Errol Cohen's, who developed Aaron with an AI driven drawing system in the 1970s, and in the cybernetic art of the 1960s, such as Gordon Pass' interactive installation that responds to human input. Chung's work also engaged with themes of authorship, agency, and intuition, expanding on historical exploration of generative art by artists like Vera Monar and Manfred Moore, who used algorithmic systems to create evolving visual compositions. Materially and conceptually, Chung's work draws from traditions in performance and process-based art, reminiscent to Lillian Schwartz's computer-assisted animations or Myron Kruger's interactive environment in the 1970s. The expressive mark making in her work connects to earlier experiments with drawing machines such as Jean Tinguely self-destruction kinetic sculptures. Additionally, in her engagement with AI resonates with the 20th century's discussion in arts and technology, from the Experiments in Art and Technology (EAT) movement, which explored the artist-engineering collaboration, to the rise of digital aesthetics in the 1990s with pioneers like Jody, who examined the limits of software and code as creative mediums by retracing these histories. Chung's work positions itself within a lineage of art questioning the involvement relationship between human and intelligent system, ultimately redefining the role of the artist in an era of compositional creativity.
I imagine that the artists Harold Cohen and artist duo Sun Yuan and Peng Yu influenced Sougwen Chung and her art. Harold Cohen was a British artist who had an interest in computer, artificial intelligence, and painting. His most notable artwork, being Aaron, made in the 1970s, was a series of computer programs designed to produce paintings and drawings autonomously. Harold was a pioneer in showcasing how robots can autonomously create art, and Aaron was the earliest artificial intelligence AI program for art making. This is akin to Chung's practice, where she frequently shows how machines can co-create art with her. Chinese artist duo Sun Yuan and Peng Yu both use technology and incorporate unconventional materials into their artworks. Their work has a reputation for being controversial and provocative, as they have used live and taxidermied animals, and even human corpses. I can see Chung being influenced by their unconventional methods of creating work, and she could have been inspired to use robots as her type of unconventional material. Yuan and Yu also have a famous art piece that used a machine as the central part called "I Can't Help Myself." It was programmed to keep a thick, deep red liquid within a predetermined area. Moving on to the art movements that I can see influence Sougwen Chung, the first being cybernetic art, which was begun by Nicholas Schoeffer in 1956, is contemporary art that integrates systems theory, feedback loops, and interactive technologies to explore their relationship between human creativity and machine processes, often involving real-time interaction and dynamic evolution. This is similar to Chung's practice, where the collaboration between the machine and the human is explored in real time. The Gutai Art Association, best known for envisioning a dynamic relationship between the human spirit and matter, Its members explored in unconventional venues such as public parks and on stage. The members' engagement with the relationship between spirit, human, and body and material, often concretized in artistic methods that involve the artist's body and violent gestures. Evidently, Chung has Gutai art listed in her machine collaboration section on her website. In Gutai art, matter never compromises itself with the spirit. The spirit never dominates matter. To make the fullest use of matter is to make use of the spirit. The matter of the artists of the Gutai tradition explored were paint, metal, canvas, with Akira Kanayama utilizing primitive robotics as a remote painter. Today, matter in the form of digital data, biometrics, and robotics has become responsive, interactive. Omnia explores the interplay of today's matter with spirit, as defined by Gutai, a performance of human agency communicated through drawing and mark making. The robotic art movement began in the 1950s to 1960s, with artists like Jean Tingley and Namjoon Paik using machines to create kinetic and interactive artworks. It has since evolved with AI and digital technologies, exploring themes of automation, autonomy, and human-machine interaction. Chung uses robots in her art, and with the final product, it's hard to tell which stroke was created by the machine or by her. Thus, Chung blurs the lines between machine and human-made art. The abstract art movement, emerging in the early 20th century, emphasizes the use of shapes, colors, and forms, rather than the representational or realistic depictions, focusing on evoking emotions and ideas through non-representational means. Sougwen's artworks are abstract in their appearance. They use bold and colorful strokes without a distinct shape.
Omina per Omina is a collaboration between robots and humans. Creating an abstract visual depiction of data read by robots and humans, the paint visually tells us how the machine sees the technological systems compared to humans. In the series, the painting shows how the robots alongside Chung paint data collected on velocity, direction, density, and dwellings on 48 by 48 canvases. As Chung shares, I collaborate through a drawing duet with machines to understand my engagement to technological complexity as articulated by a multi-agent body and represent how these technological systems see in contrast to humans. This synergy prompts viewers to reconsider traditional notions of authorship and creativity in the digital age. Authorship, providing example from class, Bill Poster's Big Data Public Faces, challenges who is the creator of an artwork by using other people's likeness and using AI to create the art. Similarly, Chung's work challenged the perception of machines as mere tools, proposing them as collaborative identities. It encourages the reevaluation of human-machine relationships, coexistence, and mutual influence. Genesis, an ongoing research project in collaboration with machines, explores the evolution of the drawn line and the robotic form. Genesis blurs the lines between architecture, sculpture, drawing, and dance. The project focuses on the development of speculative machine forms inspired by the living organisms, constructing the fluidity of human motion and machine interpretation. This process, termed Lifelines, integrates advanced technologies such as motion capture and virtual reality, allowing the transition of human gestures into tangible forms. Genesis dives into the concept Chung has been exploring, post-human collaboration, how humans can collaborate with non-human entities by moving beyond traditional human-centric approaches and considering the interconnectedness of all beings. Chung prompts contemplation on ethical implications of creating machines that emulate life, urging a discourse on the responsibilities inherent in such technological advancements. As we learned from AI personality Ada, they are not a risk. However, some of the technology can have the potential to be a risk.
Okay, so now moving on to the section of related works. So these are the artworks from the past or present, which the artist or the artwork of the artist makes reference to. Okay, first of all, before going into the specific artworks, the one related work that provides an umbrella for both of them is Norman White's. He pioneered work in interactive robotic art and machine behavior, and his exploration of machine agency and predictability in human-machine interaction aligned closely with Chung's idea about collaboration between humans and robots. Norman White is one of the first artists to use robotics as an expressive medium rather than just a functional tool. His works such as The Helpless Robot, which ran from 1987 to 96, and Facing Out, Laying Low, 1977, explore machine agency, interactivity, and collaboration between human and machine. And others, such as Quasimodo, 1975, used machine learning-like behaviors before AI was widely available. Norman White paved the way for artists like Sougwen Chung by treating machines as creative partners rather than passive tools. His exploration in machine behavior and agency is seen in Omnia per Omnia's robotic drawing duet. Interactive art and AI systems are seen in Genesis' evolving spatial dataset, and his push of bridging the physical and digital connects to Chung's VR to sculpture process. White's influence places Omnia per Omnia and Genesis within a rich legacy of artists exploring the partnership between humans and machine in new media art. Now let's talk about Sougwen Chung's Omnia per Omnia, which debuted 2018. So in this artwork, it can be seen as a part of a lineage of artworks that explore the collaboration between humans and machine in the context of creativity, not as a tool but a partner, which where Norman White came in. So one key historical reference that is not Norman White is Akira Kanayama's remote control painting, which was 1958, a work produced under the philosophy of the Gutai Art Association, a radical Japanese avant-garde movement from the mid-20th century. The ethos of the Gutai artist was the interest of the relationship between human expression and materiality, often using the unconventional methods and technologies to challenge traditional notions of authorship. For example, Kanayama's work replaced the artist's hand with remote-controlled car equipment with paint, removing direct human control from the creative act. This aligns with Gutai's core belief that art should allow material to speak for themselves, revealing their innate properties rather than being dominated by the artist's intent. Chung's Omnia per Omnia builds on this Gutai tradition, but shifts the focus from automation to calibration. While Kanayama's remote-controlled painting emphasized the separation of artist and machine, Chung bridges that gap, treating the robotic arm as an extension of the body rather than a fully autonomous entity. Well, in this case, robotic arm is like little multiple robots, but you get the image. Now let's talk about Sougwen Chung's Genesis, 2022. Like Omnia per Omnia, it continues the exploration of human-machine collaboration and creative processes. However, while Omnia per Omnia engages with the historical precedents such as Akira Kanayama's remote-controlled painting, Genesis can be placed within a broader lineage of artists experimenting with generative systems, AI, and interactivity in new media art. A foundational reference for Genesis is the work of Harold Cohen, particularly his pioneering AI-driven art system, Aaron, which ran from 1970s to the 2000s. Cohen's Aaron was one of the first programs designed to generate original drawings autonomously, developing visual compositions without direct human intervention. Like Cohen's work, Genesis explores machine-generated creativity, but rather than positioning AI as an independent artist, Chung shifts the paradigm to emphasize co-creation, where AI and human intuition continuously shape each other's outputs. Here's one example. Another key historical reference is Vera Molnar, one of the earliest artists to use algorithmic processes in visual art. Her I do not know how to pronounce this title, but Des Ordres, which from my limited French can, I think, translate to chaos or something like that. So this was in 1970s. It explored structured randomness and rule-based systems that could generate aesthetic compositions. Genesis resonates with Molnar's approach by integrating an evolving data set where AI learns from previous interactions, producing visual forms that emerge from ongoing feedback loop between human gesture and machine intelligence. A more contemporary parallel, however, can be found in Raphael Lozano Hemmer's interactive installations such as 33 Questions Per Minute in the 2000s and Pulse Room 2006, which use computational systems to generate evolving responses to human input. Like Lozano's Hemmer's work, Genesis is deeply interactive, allowing the machine's behavior to be shaped by past data while remaining open to new influences. Ultimately, Genesis fits within the lineage of artists who have challenged traditional notions of authorship, agency, and creativity in art. Thus, Chung's work continues the tradition of treating technology not as a mere tool, but as an active, evolving, creative partner.
In this Minecraft build, we created a system of flying machines that move across the canvas, quote-unquote spreading the paint as they move. Because we're still in Minecraft, so it's not like real paint, obviously, so we kind of like, it's implied. We leaned into the themes of the two paintings by Sougwen Chung, like about the calibration between humans and machines, which the machines are the flying machines, and the humans are like what we made. Like, we made the robots and we made the painting, so it's like, yeah, so it's like it's obviously an iteration. It's not really perfect because it is in Minecraft, so we can't really replicate what Sougwen Chung did, but yeah, that's the idea for it.